If you guys watched me at all last year, you guys would know my most successful series on my channel was Madden 23 Texans franchise. That every single video felt like with that series I was getting a ton of views on them. So this year I am going to be doing Carolina Panthers franchise. Now this time obviously you guys know that I do have a other series on my channel for another team. But this year, I wanted to do multiple teams. So this year for Madden 24 franchise, I'm going to have multiple teams. If you guys are new to the series and new to the channel, it would be very much appreciated if you guys can subscribe. But if you guys have been watching my other series for Madden 24, Madden 24 Colts franchise, you guys would know it's pretty standard. It's a very standard franchise series. But last year when I did my Madden 23 Texans franchise, I had a bunch of different rules set up for the series to make it as fun as possible, and that we're gonna be watched Madden 23 Texans franchise. You guys know I had a whole rule set up for that series, so we're just gonna be transporting those rules into Carolina Panthers Madden 24 franchise. So it's gonna be basically exactly like Texans franchise from last year. It's gonna have pretty much the same rules, except this year it's with a different team. And I know last year every player on my team started off at a 70 overall. This year we're not gonna do that because we have a lot of really good players on my team, so it would be weird for, like, let's say for example Brian Burns to start at a 70 overall. So basically we're gonna have the same rules. So in this video we're gonna be going over every single rule and how the series is gonna work. So each win is one development upgrade to any player. So let's say for example week 1 we beat the Falcons. I can put a development upgrade on, let's say, Chuba, my boy. Let's say I want to get him up to star development. I can put a development upgrade on him. And then also, so on top of a development upgrade, each win is a +1 overall to any player. Now you don't have to put the development upgrade and the upgrade on each player, or on the same player. You can put it on, let's say, Chuba, the development upgrade, and then the +1 overall on Bryce Young. Now with hidden development players, specifically for Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo this year, we are not allowed to put development upgrades on them until they reveal their dev upgrades. So we're not going to do that yet. Now once Bryce Young reveals his actual development, same with Jonathan Mingo, then we can put development upgrades on them. But for the time being, since they're hidden development still, we're only going to be able to put the +1 overalls on them. Then a 5-win season is a free trade for an 85 to 90 overall player. So if we finish off this season, or any season, with 5 wins or more, then we get an 85 to 90 overall player. And then if we get or achieve a 10-win season, it's a free trade for a 90 to 95 overall player. And then a 15-win or more season is a free trade for a 95 to 99 overall player. The odds of that happening are very slim. We would have to lose only 2 games, so that's why the stakes are so high for that. At the beginning of the first season, I am allowed to pick up 3 players in the beginning of the first season. The first 2 players must be between a 70 to 80 overall, and then the last player can be between an 80 to 85 overall. That's what we're going to do in this video as well. Now, we've listed all the perks of winning, but if we lose, we have to downgrade a development upgrade on a player, and it doesn't have to be on the same player, but we also have to -1 overall any player. Now when I mean minus a development upgrade and an overall, I'm not meaning that like I can cheat the system and put it on like a backup that's never gonna get playing time. The only backups I will do that on are backups that will actually play, like Miles Sanders or my backup tight ends. So don't worry about that. But again, every loss is a -1 overall and a minus development upgrade. If I somehow do not make the playoffs, which is a very reasonable thing, especially in this early of the rebuild, this first season. But if I don't make the playoffs, I have to salvage my best player in terms of overall. So that's pretty tough. That basically means, let's say, for example, Adam Thielen is my highest overall player, which he's not. I believe it's Brian Burns. I have to sell him for nothing, which sucks. Actually, my highest overall player would be Derrick Brown. So if I can't make the playoffs, I'd have to basically get rid of Derrick Brown for nothing, which would suck. So hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully we can at least make the playoffs, because that would suck so bad. He's such a big part of our team. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But But every Super Bowl win is a plus 10 overall to 2 players, or I can trade for two 90 to 95 overall players. So for example, if I wanted to choose the plus 10 overall upgrade on 2 players instead of trading for two 90 to 95s, I can, let's say, bring up Bryce Young to an 82 overall, and then maybe Adam Thielen to a 95 overall. I can basically strategize how I would want to do that, or I can just take the safe route and, well, I wouldn't say safe route, but just take the not so interesting route and just trade for two 95 overall players. And if one of my players wins MVP, they must be taken to a 99 overall, plus I have to make them Superstar X Factor. If they already have Superstar X Factor and they're already somehow at a 99 overall, then I must make every stat on that player a 99. So even, let's say they're a quarterback, I make Juki 99, which would be absolutely insane. Now the odds of what I'm about to tell you happening are very slim, but if I win 2 Super Bowls back to back, I get 4 90 to 95 overall players. That'd be insane. If I win 2 Super Bowls back to back, I'm able to trade for 4 90 to 95 overall players. That'd be pretty insane. The odds of that happening are very slim, but it could technically happen. Then we move on to the next part of the video, which is the positions wheel / challenge wheel part. So this part, I spin. The first wheel I must spin before every game is the positions wheel. The positions I can possibly get from the positions wheel would be QB, wide receiver, tight end, or running back. Now, basically, what I do before every single game, excluding playoff games, because playoff games, we're not going to count this. But for any regular season game, I spin 2 wheels. I spin the positions wheel and then the challenge wheel. Now, let's say this wheel... let's say I land on wide receiver from the positions wheel, then I could pick whatever wide receiver on my team I want to do the challenge with. So for example, if I had Chris Olave and Justin Jefferson on my team, I'd pick probably Justin Jefferson to do the challenge with. Then I can choose from those 3 wide receivers to do my challenge with. So obviously on my team, I'd probably always want to do the challenge with my highest overall wide receiver, so that's probably how it would go. But let's say I land on quarterback, then I'd have to complete a challenge with Bryce Young. Now, once I get my position from the positions wheel, then I have to spin my challenge wheel. Now, if my challenge wheel, this wheel determines what challenge I have to do with that specific position. So, like I said, if I landed on QB and I had to do a challenge with Bryce Young, I'd have to randomly spin the challenge wheel and see what challenge I had to do with Bryce Young. Now there's many challenges that I compile up into a wheel and I spin it every week. Now for example, let's say I land on 25 fantasy points of Bryce Young. I have to get 25 fantasy points of Bryce Young in that game. If I can't, then let's say for example I get 20 fantasy points of Bryce Young, then I fail the challenge with that player and that player must lose -2 overall. So that would suck if you can't complete the challenge because you lose -2 overall. And if you complete the challenge, well, nothing good happens other than you keeping your overall. So you definitely want to go ahead and complete the challenge so that you don't lose the overall. But it's not like you're gaining anything substantial from completing the challenge. You just complete the challenge to make sure that your overall doesn't get bumped down. So that's pretty significant. So not only do we want to win so we can make the playoffs and, you know, potentially win a Super Bowl at some point, but we also need to make sure that we complete our challenges with our players, because if we don't, then our team's going to constantly be getting worse and it'll make it even harder for us to make the Super Bowl. So we definitely don't want to do that. Then, now, you guys are probably wondering, okay, it is week 1, you have a bunch of upgraded players. So basically what I did before I started recording the video is I went to my lineup and I switched the positions for a lot of my players. So Andy Dalton was a starter, I put Bryce Young in. I fixed my wide receivers a little bit. I put Jonathan Mingo up the depth chart. And then on the defensive side, I put Von Bell as my corner instead of safety. I moved down Brian Burns to my left end. I fixed around my linebacking core. And then in terms of my specialists, I put Miles Sanders as my power back, Chuba, third down running back. This is what my specialists are going to be looking like. Pretty interesting. So we'll see how the game goes. But yeah, I just changed up my lineup a lot. And I also did mini camp drills. So I did mini camp drills. I got some upgrades on some of my players. So that's literally the only stuff that you guys missed. So we're going to upgrade Derek Brown. We'll put power rusher on him. So I switched around my lineup. Obviously, I auto-generated a draft class. I did mini camps, so basically, and I simmed through preseason. So basically, right now, as Bryce Young moves up to a 73 overall, very solid. The only bad thing on him is his awareness. Everything else is amazing on Bryce Young. And in real life, I am a Bryce Young rider. I'll ride him till the wheels fall off. Absolutely love him. So that's why I want to do the Panthers. And now let's set our season goal. I am hopefully, I'll make the playoffs. I mean, I would like to make the playoffs. It will be very hard. I can tell you that. It's going to be hard to make the playoffs, but I think we can do it. Then we have opening day keys, rookie QB. We're probably not going to do any of that. I think for now, we'll get into I can pick up 3 players in the beginning of the first season. Now, in the beginning of the next season, I'm not going to be able to pick up any players. I'm only allowed to pick up 3 players in the beginning of the first season. So I'm only allowed to do this for this season and this season only. So, I was kind of doing my due diligence, and I found 3 players that would help out our team that fit the requirements of the players that we need to get. So the 2 70 to 80 overall players will be Peter Skoronski and Elijah Vera Tucker. And then the 80 to 85 overall player that I will be getting is Kayvon Thibodeau. So let me go ahead, let me grab Skoronski, Elijah, and Kayvon, and I'll meet you guys after. Alright guys, so we have officially traded for AVT is what I'm going to be calling him, Peter Skoronski from the Titans, and Kayvon Thibodeau. So those are the 3 players that we were able to acquire. So we acquired all 3 of them, so they're going to be on our team for pretty much forever. And that's pretty much it for the video. So if you guys were expecting me to play a game in this video, that would be insane, because this video would be like almost an hour long, because I had to go over the rules, my team, and trading for the players. So if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you guys already haven't. And on December 25th, on Christmas, expect to see the first game of Carolina Panthers franchise. So we're going to be playing in our first game, week 1, I believe against the Atlanta Falcons. You'll see that video in 2 days on December 25th, on Christmas. Go check out my channel on Christmas. You'll see that video up. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next Madden 24 franchise video. I'll see you guys then. Peace.